why Imu Sama looks so tiny. Is there something went wrong in the distant past? Perhaps a plot twist related to immortality surgery. In today's video, I'm going to talk about all of it, including Imu and Zunisha's connection, and also the legendary devil fruit the Gorosei mentioned at the end of chapter 1037. Imu Sama or Imu Sama is a mysterious person who rules the world governed from the shadows. The moment Gorosei saw Imu Sama, they kneeled before him without any hesitation. It shows that Imu is the true ruler of the world government, while the Gorosei are the public face of this organization. I know because of Imu's shape and her stature, fans are betting on Imu being a female, but Imu's gender is not confirmed yet. So I'm going with quote-unquote he in this video. I'm going with he because of the power structure in the One Piece world. Here he represents power and authority, not gender. Anyways, the celestial dragons regard themselves gods who created this world. The Gorosei are the head of the celestial dragons. Even they do not have the right to sit on the empty throne. But Imu sat on it without any hesitation, like it was meant to be. It proves that he has absolute authority within the world government, or he has the highest authority within this organization. Perhaps the only people know about Imu's existence are the Gorosei, the attendants who serve Imu, and the remnant of the Roger pirates. I don't know if Monkey D. Dragon is aware of his existence. Even though Blackbeard loves researching history, he might not know Imu's existence because it's been wiped clean. I'm talking about the Void Century here. Anyways, we don't know much about Imu Sama. In fact, we don't even know how he sounds like. He didn't even talk to his attendants or the Gorosei. But we do know that he hates the member of the D clan, for obvious reason, and also the mermaid princess Shirahoshi. Surprisingly, he shows interest in Princess Vivi. The one specific feature of Imu that caught everyone's attention is his eyes. He has sharp almond eyes with red irises that have thin rings or circles surrounding his pupils. Zunisha also has similar eyes but with different colors. Perhaps it's just a coincidence, or maybe it is of significant importance. We don't know yet, but it is possible both of them lives over 900 years. Princess Shirahoshi is the ancient weapon Poseidon. Joy Boy went to Rigo Kingdom of Fishman Island and made a promise to the Poseidon of that time. Imu might have played a definitive role taking down the ancient kingdom, and that's why he is aware of the threat Princess Shirahoshi poses to the world government. No wonder he hates Shirahoshi. And for obvious reason, he would hate the member of the D clan. We saw him taking 2 bounty posters to the cryogenic chamber. Inside it, there were several altars, and one of them had a giant straw hat in it. He was comparing Luffy's straw hat with the giant one, and it reminded him that Luffy is actually carrying the same will as the owner of this giant straw hat, perhaps Joy Boy. However, we didn't see the other bounty poster. We can assume it was Blackbeard's. If Luffy reminds Imu of the owner of the giant straw hat, what about Blackbeard? Blackbeard Pirate's Jolly Roger has 3 scowling skulls and 3 cross-intersected bones. Does it remind Imu of someone in the past? Does that person's belonging still in one of the altars inside the cryogenic chamber? But the problem is, we don't see any skull in Blackbeard's bounty poster. However, we do see 2 earrings. Perhaps Blackbeard's name or face reminds Imu of someone he knew in the past, and that person's belonging is inside one of the altars. The Gorosei asked if Imu decided to erase someone from the history. I think Luffy and Blackbeard are on the hit list, and so is Princess Shirahoshi. As for Princess Vivi, she might resemble the princess or queen of Alabasta during the Void Century. Who knows, Imu might have had a crush on her. Or she was the ancient weapon Pluton. More specifically, she could give command to the ancient weapon Pluton. Inside Pangaea Castle, there is a room called Flower Room, and Imu likes it. It is full of life and vitality. When Doflamingo was talking about the national treasure of Mary Joa, he was also talking about the Ope Ope fruit and the immortality surgery. Perhaps someone performed immortality surgery on Imu Sama and made him an immortal. But it might not be the immortal in true sense or essence, and it comes with a price. Reverie or Leveille held every 4 years. Perhaps Imu wakes up every 4 years during the reverie, and after the summit ends, he goes to a sleeping chamber and hibernates. He might have given orders to Gorosei that unless it is absolutely necessary, nobody is allowed to waking up from his hibernation. Im used sword to slice apart Luffy and Blackbeard's bounty posters. It's likely that he is a swordsman, but if that's the case, we can assume 3 things from it. Number 1, he's not the final villain in One Piece. Why? Well, if he's the final villain, as the main protagonist of the series, Luffy needs to take him down. But Zoro wants to be the strongest swordsman in the world. But defeating Im would question Zoro's position as the strongest swordsman in the world. Number 2, Drackle Mihawk is the strongest swordsman, and Im is not a proper swordsman. He just used sword to slice Luffy and Blackbeard's bounty poster to vent his anger. It's quite childish. That said, wouldn't it be a plot twist if Im is actually a child? More specifically, he has a body of a child. It's like Imu Sama of Dragon Ball Super. I would very much look forward to that happening. We all know about Doflamingo's subordinate, Sugar. After all, she's the reason Usopp became God Usopp, and Luffy got his Grand Fleet. Sugar is actually 22 years old, but due to the effect of her devil fruit, her aging halted, and she is biologically 10 years old. In fact, Sugar and Im have something in common. Yes, I'm talking about the crown they both have. Im's crown has 4 sharp, incredibly tall spikes, whereas Sugar's crown has 7 spikes. I know it might not mean anything, but hey, Eiichiro Oda might tell us, I gave you a clue about Im and Sugar. It's your fault for not connecting it. Don't blame me. I think Im looks so small because of the negative effect of Ope Fruit's immortality surgery. However, it is also possible Im came from the outer space or moon, and he's not a human. Now let's talk about the legendary devil fruit the Gorosei were discussing. I think it is related to Shanks. The blonde Gorosei said that to raise the name of the legendary devil fruit, the world government actually changed its original name. It shows that the world government is very afraid of that fruit's ability. Now, what is the fruit's name and who owns it? When it comes to history, Blackbeard is our number 1 choice. I think Blackbeard's 3rd devil fruit is the legendary devil fruit that the Gorosei were talking. It might be the strongest zoan or mythical zoan devil fruit. Now you might say, what about Luffy's Gomu fruit? Well, Luffy's Gomu fruit is a weak combative type devil fruit. It is because Luffy's ingenuity, Gomu fruit looks so awesome. However, when Jesus Burgess met Luffy, Burgess wanted to steal Luffy's devil fruit. And on Fishman Island, Jinbe warned Luffy and the Straw Hats that the Blackbeard pirates are hunting strong devil fruit users. So, Jesus Burgess might have thought Luffy's devil fruit is strong. There is a devil fruit encyclopedia in One Piece world that lists the names and power of all the devil fruits. However, most of the fruit cannot be identified by their appearance. Blackbeard and Vince McSanji read a copy of that book. So it's obvious Blackbeard has some knowledge about Gomu fruit and how powerful its users could become. Anyways, the Gorosei may not be talking about the Gomu fruit. It would be very surprising if we find that Zo or Zunisha is actually an ancient Zoan devil fruit user. That would be shocking. Another devil fruit comes to my mind is Mera Nomi. The Gorosei might have seen Sabo awakening his ability when he was fighting the admirals. Even though the Gorosei were talking about erasing Big Mom and Kaido, I don't think they were talking about their devil fruits. There's another fruit that comes to mind is Monkey D. Dragon's fruit, if he has any. But my bet is on Blackbeard, his mythical Zoan devil fruit. Maybe its name is related to the Void Century or the Ancient Kingdom. It shows how much the world government is afraid of that fruit's ability or the information that fruit might carry. Now, regarding Zunisha eating a devil fruit, I'm not saying Zunisha ate a devil fruit because it wouldn't make a sense what Momonosuke meant when he said he cannot die. I mean, when he was reading Oden's logbook, he realized that he has a role to play, and it is nothing other than the mission Zo or Zunisha is carrying. However, it would be pretty interesting if Zunisha was actually a land that belonged to Wano country. After it ate a devil fruit, it left Wano country, and this is the scene he was talking about. I know it's outrageous, but I was just entertaining a possibility here, nothing more. Now, you might say, You said about 3 assumptions, but you only discussed 2. What about the other one? Well, I don't have the third one. It is for you. Thanks for watching.